With so many different exciting game releases slated throughout the year, there are bound to be those that might have flown under your radar. Today we'll be focusing on upcoming open-world MMORPGs that might just get your jollies. I'm Luna with Jollycat Gaming. Let's jump right in. As a disclaimer, these brilliant MMORPGs are not ranked in any particular order. They're all special in their own unique ways. Something to note, we'll be looking into MMORPGs which are still under development or have not been fully released yet, and are open world either completely or in certain aspects of their gameplay. These include games which are in early access or beta, with some slated for a full release later this year. With that out of the way, let's get on with the list. Aren't you tired of playing MMORPGs where you endlessly grind for gear and legendary loot drops? Why not spend some casual time peacefully tending to your farms and animals, creating impactful friendships and relationships with others along the way? Sound too good to be true? That's exactly the idea behind an upcoming online role-playing game, Paliya. Currently worked on by former Blizzard and Riot Games developers, Paliya will be focusing more on the life simulation aspect of an MMORPG, where you're able to do anything you want to live a meaningful daily life. Just like Stardew Valley and even the classic Harvest Moon games, you'll be able to cook, garden, fish, trade, and also renovate your very own house while getting to know NPCs and even other players roaming around the world. That's not to say that combat is not in the game though, because it is. Still, we have yet to see any in-game combat sequences, but judging by the overall concept of the game, you can safely put your swords and shields aside. Currently, Paliya is in its pre-alpha stages with no confirmed release date as of yet. Amazon Games' bold step towards video game publishing has been somewhat rough, with a few of their most ambitious attempts being cancelled without even seeing the light, such as Crucible and Lord of the Rings MMO. However, amongst their catalogue of video games holds one great promise in the form of the upcoming MMORPG New World. Essentially, you play as a shipwrecked colonizer seeking to find fame and fortune by harvesting the magical resources of a mystical island, Eternum. Once you reach Eternum, you will need to grow in strength as you journey your way across the expansive new island, joining factions to gain control of the land while partaking in massive PvE raids and also challenging PvP instances too. So far, the game has been receiving plenty of good feedback from the community, with its gorgeous in-game graphics and intuitive territory battles among its huge positives. If you're looking forward to New World, the game is expected to launch on 31st August 2021. Another beautiful open-world MMORPG which is currently under development is Ashes of Creation, led by American game developers Intrepid Studios. With an emphasis on action combat, you will need to pick your attacks wisely while constantly moving to avoid enemy attacks. The game is still a sprawling open-world instance where you can explore a vast majority of the world known as Verra. There will be a choice between 8 starting classes to pick from, with specializations unlocking later on by opting for another class as your subclass, creating an entirely new one by combining both. This basically means that players will be able to become one out of 64 different class combinations in the game. Now that's a lot. Another high note of Ashes of Creation is that the UI is very clean and polished, even though the game hasn't entered beta yet. Currently, the game is still in its pre-alpha stage with no release date confirmed. Still, judging by the progress the game is making in its incomplete state, Ashes of Creation is definitely a game worth looking forward to. How are you finding the list so far? Be sure to like the video to support the channel and comment down below if you think there are other things worth mentioning. There are already plenty of anime-styled MMORPGs that you can easily find out there. In such a congested market, a new MMORPG of the same art style will need to be unique in order to attract players from all over the world. Meet Bandai Namco's latest project, Blue Protocol. With such an illustrious game publisher and developer leading the helm, Blue Protocol seems to have ticked all the right checkboxes when it comes to creating a great gaming experience. Priding itself as a distinct MMORPG focusing on strong storytelling elements, you will find yourself fully immersed in quests while seemingly free to explore the world too. To clarify though, Blue Protocol is not 100% open world where you are to explore all the game's locations from the get-go, as most of them are restricted to instance-based dungeons and quests, but a majority of the game's land is open for you to traverse while partaking in PvE boss raids as well. Similarly to other comparative anime-styled games today, the combat is sleek, fluid and fun, with Blue Protocol emphasizing more on action combat rather than tab targeting. The game is completely PvE as far as we know, letting you enjoy a more casual and friendlier experience while diving into its story narratives. In Blue Protocol, you literally feel like you're the main protagonist of an anime, which sums up the game in a very positive light already. The game is currently in closed beta and hopes to achieve global release by 2022. Have you ever imagined an MMORPG set within a MOBA playing environment? That is basically what Corepunk is.
What we're referring to as the Unholy Alliance.
Before you start arguing about the atrocities of such a concept, Corepunk surprisingly combines both video game genres successfully, with its isometric character view letting you enjoy the sight of other players running around hubs just like Albion does. A few borrowed concepts from MOBAs which create compelling engagements in Corepunk are the fog of war and unrestricted world map mechanics. In Corepunk, obstacles and local fauna can indeed block your line of sight in the game, similar to how League of Legends works. This creates some ambush instances where you may find yourself surrounded by not being aware of those hungry drakes lurking nearby. The world map is also seamless, meaning that you are able to travel from one town hub to another without needing to load constantly. These are very unique takes on the open world aspect of a multiplayer game, which just might attract younger audiences too. There are currently 6 classes for you to choose from, each with its own distinct abilities and playing styles. With an emphasis on exploring its PvE elements, partying up with others in the game should definitely be the best way to go in Corepunk. Currently, Corepunk is in closed beta and looks set to be released by late 2021. And there you go, these are the top 5 open-world MMORPGs that you should definitely be keeping your eyes on throughout the year. There are certainly tons of other upcoming huge MMORPGs out there that may deserve some honourable mentions too. But before we dive into some of them, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing content and turn on your notifications to receive the latest updates about our newest videos. With that said, let's welcome 2 honourable mentions. The Wild 8 developers Fantastic Games are now looking to venture their horizons into creating a massive open-world survival MMO which is akin to The Division, but with zombies and basic survival aspects included. The idea is genuinely interesting, paired with some ingenious graphical upgrades to rival other AAA titles out there. Still, not much real gameplay has been revealed yet, barring cinematic sequences and scripted game mechanics to show off the game engine's potential. If Fantastic Games manages to pull this off, it would be amongst the greatest MMORPGs ever, but keep your expectations tamed for now. Don't want to have another Marvel's Avengers level of disappointment now, do we?
No! God, please, no! No!
The Day Before is supposedly scheduled for a Q2 2021 launch later this year, but expected to delay a bit further into 2022 onwards. Looking for an MMORPG closer to the likes of Valheim? You're in luck! Odin, Valhalla Rising is the latest video game venture which explores a lot about the fictional premises of Norse mythology. Otherworldly gods like Loki and Thor exist in the game, with combat being a pivotal aspect of the game's allure. Still, the game is only limited to South Korea at this time, with the game just recently launched in late June 2021 for mobile and PC. A Western release is sure to follow suit, but the realistic timeframe should be around the beginning to mid-2022 earliest. We're just going to have to keep ourselves occupied with other alternatives for the time being, won't we?
Alright, if you say so.
And that concludes this video. We hope you've enjoyed the content. If you haven't already, make sure to like the video to support the channel and hit that subscribe button to continue watching for more videos like these. Share with us in the comments section down below if you think we might have missed something along the way. For now, we hope to see you guys again later. Peace out!